Hello students, I am Dr. Poonam from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Government College, Shri Ganganagar. As you know that we are doing the poem Earth by Rabindra Nath Tagore. This is my second video of the poem Earth. First video I shared you yesterday. So we proceed now. As the one fact, very important fact, I tell you about Tagore that Gitanjali is Tagore's best known work, best known collection of poetry for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. Tagore was the first known European to receive a Nobel Prize in Literature and second non-European to receive a Nobel Prize after Theodore Roosevelt. So this is one most important factor about Rabindranath Tagore. So we are doing the poem Earth. The shackled demons were humbled, but primal barbarity has kept its grip on your history. It can suddenly invade order with anarchy from the dark recesses of your being. It can suddenly emerge like a snake. Its madness is in your blood. The spells of the gods resound through sky and air and forest, sung solemnly day and night, high and low, but from regions under your surface, sometimes half tame demons raise their serpent hoods. They goad you into wounding your own creatures, into ruining your own creation. So, the shackled demons. As you know, I told you in my first video that the demons, the monsters, they were tied by gods. Gods came and they tied the demons. They captured, they subdued the demons, and after the arrival of gods, they were somehow humbled. The demons were somehow humbled. But primal barbarity is because the demons were savagely cruel. They were very cruel. बहुत ज़्यादा cruel थे demons. Has kept its grip on your history. So their barbarity, their cruelty, their savagely cruelty, it kept its grip on your history, on the history of the earth. It can suddenly invade to anarchy. It can suddenly invade order with anarchy, and it can suddenly invade order. What is anarchy? Anarchy is a state of disorder. State of disorder means अराजकता की स्थिति पैदा हो जाना. It can suddenly invade. So the demons, they can invade order with anarchy, with disturbance from the dark recesses of your being, from the dark recesses of the earth, as the poet Tagore is paying his tribute to Mother Earth. So he says, from the dark recesses of your being, it can suddenly emerge like a snake. They can suddenly emerge just like a snake. Emerge means come out, just like a snake. Its madness is in your blood, and the madness of shackled demons, captured, tied, subdued demons, they are in your blood. It is in your blood, the madness. The spells of the gods resound through sky and air and forest. The spells of the gods and the spells, the incantations, the mantras of the gods resound. They were resounding in the atmosphere of the sky, air, forest. The spells are resounding everywhere, sung solemnly day and night, high and low, and they were singing it solemnly, very purely. Solemnly मतलब पवित्रता के साथ, बहुत पवित्रता के साथ, day and night they were singing, they were chanting. Gods were resounding and chanting the spells day and night, high and low, on very high pitch, on a very low pitch, but from reasons under your surface, but from reasons but from those reasons under your surface sometimes half-tamed demons raise their serpent hoods, because the demons were half-tamed, they were half controlled, they were not fully controlled, so they raised their serpent hoods, सांप की तरह से अपने फन उठाते थे वो. They god you, god means they provoked, God means provoked, मजबूर कर देना, into wounding your own creatures. उन्होंने पृथ्वी को, धरती को मजबूर कर दिया into your wounding your own creatures, that तुम्हारे जो प्राणी है उनको भी चोट पहुंचाई, मजबूर किया उन्होंने पृथ्वी को, into ruining your own creation, and they provoked you to ruin your own creation. अपनी रचनाओं को, धरती की जो रचनाएं थी खुद की, ईश्वर की जो रचनाएं थी, उनको भी ruin में सर्वनाश करने के लिए प्रेरित करते थे वो. At your footstool mounted on evil as well as good. At your footstool means at your footsteps mounted on evil. There is evil as well as goodness is there. Both are there. To your vast and terrifying beauty, I offer today my scarred life's homage. Again and again, the poet is paying tribute. The poet is paying tribute to goddess, to earth, Mother Earth, and he says that to your vast and terrifying beauty. There is a contradiction here in these lines, that the vast and terrifying beauty. Earth is very beautiful. It is very vast. It is vivid. But with the vividness, with the vastness, it is terrifying also. ये डरावनी भी है. I offer today my scarred life. Scarred is a दाग लगी हुई. Marked life. Scarred for life. Scarred life is the marked life, my marked life, मेरी दाग लगी हुई जिंदगी. The poet is very humble, so he is paying tribute. He says, my scarred life homage, my homage, I pay my homage to you, I offer. I touch your hues buried store of life and death. I touch your hues and buried store of life. Many things are buried under earth. There is a vast store under earth of, किस चीज़ का स्टोर है? लाइफ एंड डेथ. Life and death, there is, both the things are there. Life is also there and death is, as well as death is also there. So both the things are there. Life as well as death, both are there under the earth. So the poet says that I offer today my scarred life's homage. I touch your hues buried store of life and death. Hues buried store of life and death. So this is, there is a very huge store. There is buried. Buried मैंने दबा हुआ है जो, it is buried under earth. Store of life and death. Feel it throughout my body and mind. I feel it. I am feeling, I can feel it throughout my body and mind. The corpses of numberless, corpses are the dead bodies, numberless dead bodies. I can feel the numberless dead bodies under the earth. Generations of men lie heaped in your dust, and there are generations after generations. पीढ़ियाँ, मनुष्यों की जो पीढ़ियाँ हैं, they are lying heaped, they are lying buried. Heaped माने एक ऊंचे ढेर में, एक ऊंचा ढेर, बहुत बड़ा हीप मीन्स बहुत बड़ा ढेर है इन योर डस्ट, इन द डस्ट ऑफ अर्थ. I too shall add a few fistful, the final measure of my joys and pains, add them to that name absorbing, shape absorbing, fame absorbing, silent pile of dust. I too shall add. Now the poet is very humble. He says that I want to add a few fistful, handful, muट्ठी भर, द फाइनल मेजर ऑफ माई जॉयस एंड पेन्स. मेरा जो फाइनल मेजरमेंट है, मेरा जो फाइनल, मेरे पास जो कुछ है, द सम ऑफ माई जॉयस एंड पेन्स आई हैव. सो आई एम ऑफरिंग यू अ फिस्टफुल, मुट्ठी भर अपने जॉयस और पेन्स को आई ऑफर टू यू ओ अर्थ. Add them to that name absorbing, add them to that, add my fistful joys, handful joys and pains. You can add them to that name absorbing, who can absorb name, who can absorb shape, and fame absorbing, silent pile of dust. All these generations who are piled and they are buried under earth, so you can add my handful of joys and pains to them. Earth clamped into rock or flitting. Earth clamped into rock or flitting into the clouds, wrapped in meditation in the silence of a ring of mountains. जैसा कि कवि अर्थ को अपनी होमिज पे कर रहा है, अपनी श्रद्धांजलि समर्पित कर रहा है, अपनी श्रद्धांजलि दे रहा है, वो कहता है अर्थ क्लैम्प्ड इनटू रॉक्स. अर्थ पर क्या है? देयर आर सो मेनी रॉक्स, देयर आर सो मेनी फ्लिटरिंग माउंटेन्स इनटू द क्लाउड्स, एंड क्लाउड्स आर देयर. Wrapped in meditation in the silence of a ring of mountains. Wrapped means lost, जैसे तल्लीन हो जाना, खो जाना. Wrapped in meditation. कैसे हैं? Ring of mountains कैसे हैं? There are so many hues, rings of mountains, and the mountains are wrapped in meditation in the silence of a ring of mountains. Silence is there and the mountains are absorbed, lost in meditation, or noisy with the roar of sleepless sea waves, or it can be noisy. There can be noise with the roar of, roar means जैसे कि means a loud noise. roar is a बहुत ज़्यादा शोर करना. of sleepless sea waves. Sleepless sea waves are making noises. You are beauty and abundance, terror and famine. सब विरोधाभासी चीज़ें पृथ्वी पर मौजूद हैं, पृथ्वी के साथ समाहित हैं. यू आर ब्यूटी. द पोएट सेज तुम ब्यूटीफुल हो, ब्यूटी तुम्हारे पास है. एबंडेंस, एबंडेंस माने बहुत अधिक मात्रा में चीज़ें होना. एबंडेंस बहुत ज़्यादा, टू मच. देयर इज़ टू मच विद ऑन अर्थ. एंड टेरर एंड फेमाइन, टेरर भी है, भय, एंड फेमाइन अकाल भी है. सब कुछ तुम्हारे पास है. ऑन द वन हैंड एकर्स ऑफ क्रॉप्स बेंट विद राइपनेस. द पोएट सेज कि एक तरफ तो तुम्हारे पास एकर्स ऑफ क्रॉप्स हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा फसलें हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा खुशहाली है. देयर इज़ टू मच हैप्पीनेस विद यू, बेंट विद राइपनेस. द क्रॉप्स आर बेंट, द क्रॉप्स आर राइप्ड, and there is happiness on one hand, and on the other hand brushed free of dew each morning. And these crops are brushed free of dew each morning by delicate sunbeams, and with sunset too sending through their rippling greenness joy, joy. एक तरफ तो बहुत, there is too much happiness, abundance is there, beauty is there, crops are there, happiness are there, and brushed free of dew. Brushed माने just like a brushing. Free of dew. Free of dew means the morning beams, delicate sunbeams. Sunbeams होते हैं sun rays. Morning में, at the time of morning, the delicate, the soft and delicate sun rays Each day they brush and free the crops from the dews. With sunset too, sending through their rippling greenness, and with sunset, when sunset comes, to sending through their rippling means lehrana. Rippling marks of small waves on seashore, on the sand, on the sea sand. So rippling, they are rippling greenness. वो हरी हरी फसलें लहराती हैं. So everywhere there is joy and joy. On the other hand, in your dry, barren, sickly deserts, the dance of ghosts amid strewn animal bones. विरोधाभासी चीजें, there is the contradiction in these lines. On the other hand, in your dry, barren, you are dry. Other hand, तुम बहुत सूखी भी हो. Barren means nothing is there. Nothing grows on earth. There is such a piece of land that nothing we can grow there. Sickly deserts. बहुत बड़े बड़े रेगिस्तान हैं. Deserts माने रेगिस्तान. The dance of ghosts, जहाँ पर कि भूत नाचते हैं. They are dancing. Ghosts are dancing amid strewn animal bones. Strewn means scattered. Animal bones are scattered. So the ghosts are dancing. So there is everywhere there is a contradiction in these lines. I have watched your Baishakh storms swoop like black hawks, ripping the horizon with lightning beaks. I have watched your Baishakh storms. Baishakh is the month. हिंदी महीनों में बैशाख एक महीना है. Swoop like black hawks की तरह मैं बैशाख के महीने में रिपिंग द होराइजन क्या होता है? क्षितिज. आकाश में ऐसी जगह जहाँ पर हमको अर्थ एंड स्काई सीम टू मीट. That is called horizon, with lightning beaks, and the beaks of the hawks, it is lightning. The whole sky roars like a rampant lion. The whole sky roars like a rampant lion, lashing tail, whipping up trees till they crash to the ground in despair. Thatched roofs break loose, race before the wind like convicts from their chains. The whole sky roars. ऐसे भी scenes हैं. There are such a scene on earth. The whole sky is roaring like a rampant lion. एक lion की तरह, rampant lion की तरह, एक भयंकर lion की तरह. The fierce lion. Lashing tail, whipping up trees, lashing its tail, whipping up trees. Whipping माने कोड़े की तरह मारना. Till they crash to the ground in despair. और जिस तरह से there are storms, there is just like a rampant lion. There is a simile. Just like a rampant lion is lashing, it is fearful, and the trees are also lashing tail, whipping up trees till they crash to the ground. Just till that time they crash to the ground in despair. Thatched roofs break loose. Thatched roofs, there are thatched roofs are there, break loose, they are breaking loose, race before the wind like convicts from their chains. They are racing. The roofs means break loose, and the race before the wind. There is a fierceful wind. There is a loud winds, like convicts from their chains. Convicts कौन होते हैं? अपराधी. जैसे अपराधी अपनी चेन को तोड़कर भाग रहे हों. रेस बिफोर, ऐसे रेस लगाते हैं. इस तरह से ये प्रकृति का भयावह चित्रण भी यहाँ पर कवि ने प्रस्तुत किया है. बट आई हैव नोन इन फाल्गुन. दैट वाज द description of the month of Baishakh. Then comes the month of Falgun. The warm south breeze spread all the rhapsodies and soliloquies of love in its scent, and Then, but I have known in Falgun, the warm south breeze is there. Spread all the rhapsodies and soliloquies of love in its scent of mango bloom. Seen the foaming wine of heaven overflow from the moon's globet, heard coppices suddenly submit to wind's importunity and burst into breathless rusting. But I have known in Falgun the warm south breeze. Now the poet explains that in the month of Falgun there are warm south breeze. Breeze is the wind. South wind. Warm south winds are blowing in the month of Falgun and spread all the rhapsodies and soliloquies of love, and the winds are spreading all the rhapsodies. Rhapsodies are the enthusiastic expression of feelings. बहुत ज़्यादा enthusiastic expression of soliloquies of love songs, soliloquies of love songs, love poems. In its scent of mango blossom, seen the foaming wine of heaven overflow from the moon's globet. And here is a very beautiful description of nature in this poem. In its scent of mango blossom. In its scent of mango blossom. In the scent of mango blossom, there are mangoes, there are the trees of mangoes, there is the blossom of mangoes. Blossom माने खिले हुए हैं, आम पके हुए हैं. Seen the foaming wine of heaven, and they are seen the foaming wine of heaven, just like the wine of heaven is there, overflow from the moon's goblet, and moon is also very beautiful, and the goblet is the drinking glass of moon. So wine of heaven is overflowing from the drinking glass of moon. Very beautiful description of nature. Heard coppices suddenly submit to wind's importunity. Coppices is the such an area of woodland where tree or shrubs कट बैक टू ग्राउंड लेवल, जहाँ पर ट्रीज और श्रब्स झाड़ियाँ जो काट करके ग्राउंड लेवल तक लेवल बनाया जाता है. सो दैट इज द एरिया इज कॉल्ड इज कोपाइसिस. सडनली सबमिट टू विंड्स importunity. Importunity is the persistence of wind. Wind is blowing persistently and to the point of annoyance, and burst into breathless rustling, and it is bursting, wind is bursting into breathless rustling, breathless sound. You are gentle and fierce, ancient and renewing. You emerged from the sacrificial fire of primal creation immeasurably long ago. You are gentle and fierce. The poet says there is a paradox in this poem. The poet says that you are gentle, you are fierce, as well as fierce also. Gentle भी है, fierce भी है अर्थ. Fierce में डरावनी भी है, ancient भी है and renewing भी है. It is ancient as well as new. You emerged from the sacrificial fire of primal creation, and you have emerged from the sacrificial fire. Sacrificial fire यज्ञ की जो अग्नि है. Sacrificial fire means holy fire of यज्ञ. Holy fire से उत्पन्न हुए हो आप. You emerged, you came out from the sacrificial fire of primal creation immeasurably long ago and long ago. Your cyclic pilgrimage is littered with your cyclic pilgrimage and your pilgrimage, तुम्हारी जो यात्रा है, जो तीर्थ यात्रा है, it is littered with, it is littered. Littered means just like make untidy with meaningless remnants of history. There are so many remnants means leftover things. बहुत सारी जो हिस्ट्री में रेमिनेंट जो अवशेष हैं, जो अवशेष हैं उनका वो तुम्हारी यात्रा में शामिल हम कर सकते हैं। मीनिंगलेस अवशेष है ना, मीनिंगलेस remnants of history. You abandon your creations without regret, strew them layer upon layer forgotten. You abandon, you can give up. You can give up your creations without regret. Without any regret. Without any regret. You can give up your creations without any regret, and you can without any regret, without any repentance, strew them layer upon layer forgotten, and you can also forget them and strew them layer upon layer. Strew means बिखेर सकती हो तुम layer after layer. Guardian of life, you nurture us in little cages of fragmented time, boundaries to all our games, limits to all renown. Guardian of life, you are our guardian of life. O earth, you are just like a guardian of our life. You nurture us. Nurture, आप हमें पालती हैं, पोसती हैं. You nurture us. And in little cages of fragmented time, in the little cages of fragmented time में, and boundaries to all our games, limits to all renown. And boundaries, there are, you can make the boundaries to all our games of life, limits to our all renown. Today I stand before you without illusion. I do not ask at your door for immortality. Today I stand before you without illusion, and I stand before you without illusion, so I stand before you. I am standing, I am paying homage to you without any illusion, बिना किसी भ्रम के, बिना किसी illusion के. I do not ask at your door for immortality. And the poet says here, he clears his point here, that I do not ask at your door for immortality. I have not come to your door for इमॉर्टैलिटी के लिए, अमृत प्राप्त करने के लिए मैं यहाँ नहीं आया हूँ. फॉर द मैनी डेज एंड नाइट्स आई हैव स्पेंट वीविंग यू गार्लैंड्स. फॉर सो मैनी डेज एंड नाइट्स आई हैव स्पेंट डेज एंड नाइट्स फॉर वीविंग गार्लैंड्स फॉर यू. I have been weaving garlands, मालाएं बनाता रहा तुम्हारे लिए. But if I have given true value to my small seat in a tiny segment of one of the years, that open and close like blinks in the millions of years. और the poet says here, वो कहता है, प्रार्थना करता है पृथ्वी से, धरती से प्रार्थना करता है, गिवन ट्रू वैल्यू. अगर मुझे आप ट्रू वैल्यू देना चाहती है, यू वॉन्ट टू इवेल्यूएट मी टू माई स्मॉल सीट, एंड आई हैव ए स्मॉल सीट इन अ टाइनी सेगमेंट. छोटा सा मेरा सेगमेंट है मेरी लाइफ का. वन ऑफ द ईयर्स दैट ओपन एंड क्लोज लाइक ब्लिंक्स इन द मिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स ऑफ योर सोलर राउंड. इन योर सोलर राउंड, तुम्हारे एटमोस्फियर में, इफ आई हैव वन फ्रॉम द ट्रायल्स ऑफ लाइफ अ स्क्रैप ऑफ सक्सेस. और अगर मैंने जो मेरी ट्रायल्स मीन्स डिफ़िकल्टीज़, मेरी जो डिफ़िकल्टीज़ हैं, ऑफ आई हैव वन फ्रॉम द ट्रायल्स ऑफ लाइफ, मैंने अपनी ट्रायल्स, द डिफ़िकल्ट सिचुएशंस इन माई लाइफ, आई हैव वन, आई हैव ओवरकेम अ स्क्रैप ऑफ सक्सेस. और स्क्रैप ऑफ सक्सेस मैंने एक छोटी सी, है ना, ए स्मॉल सक्सेस. इफ़ आई एम सक्सेसफुल, थोड़ा सा भी सक्सेसफुल हूँ, कवि कहता है, देन मार्क माई ब्राउ विद द साइन मेड फ्रॉम योर क्ले, एंड मार्क ओ अर्थ, you can mark my brow, my forehead with a sign made from your clay, and with a sign you can mark my brow, to be rubbed out in time by the night in which all signs fade into the final unknown. To be rubbed out, and it can be rubbed out when I will die by the night in which all signs fade into the final unknown. Final unknown is the realm of death, जहाँ पर कि सब द अननोन है, फाइनल है. डेथ इज द फाइनल थिंग. वहाँ पर एवरीथिंग कैन बी रब्ड आउट. ओ अलूफ रूथलेस अर्थ, बिफोर आई एम O aloof, ruthless earth, before I am forgotten, let me place my homage at your feet. These last lines, O aloof, ruthless earth. Very important lines are these. Although the whole poem is also very important, so I explained to you the whole of the poem, but the last lines are very important. O aloof, ruthless earth. The poet calls earth aloof, meaning lonely, ruthless, cruel earth. Before I am forgotten, let me place my homage at your feet. उससे पहले कि मैं इस संसार से चला जाऊं, I am gone from this world, and let me place my homage at your feet, so I can place my homage at your feet. I can place my homage means he is paying his homage, he is placing his homage at the feet of the earth before he goes from this world, before his death. So he calls earth aloof and ruthless in the end. Thank you very much.